Yo, welcome back to the channel. So, got something new. So we're going to be changing this board, okay? Oh, windy. So on this street alone, we have worked for nearly 10 of the houses around here, going from extensions to just electrical work and all the rest of it. So this is another customer that we are doing now, another neighbour, should we say. So first things first, so job overview, which is going to be over a couple of videos. I have got some LED profile lighting to be going in the lounge. I've got outside lighting, which is off this garage just behind you. But first things first, we're going to be changing this. So this board here is a 16th edition consumer unit. So we're going to be changing that little bad boy up there. It is a cheeky little Hager. Hager, a very good make, a very good brand. We're going to be changing that out. We're going to be fitting a fuse box board today with SPD. We're going to be bringing it up to date. So with that, obviously full test of the whole house, making sure everything is all hunky-dory. So, yes, it's a bit high, but it is what it is. So we're going to open the board up together because obviously I don't have a clue what it's like or the rest of it. It's been a long time since it's been sort of looked at or maintained or anything like that. But yeah, so if you're new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, please make sure you do. Link is in one of these. I do this for the last 2 years and I still don't know. It's one of these. So do us a favour, smash that. Don't forget at the end of the video, if you've enjoyed it, bosh a little cheeky thumbs up. But yeah, let's get stuck into the video. So first things first, I'd just like to point out massive customer points. Before I've literally got out the van, brew was on, because they've obviously heard the rumours from the neighbours. I do like a cup of tea. So that is an absolute winner. So for those of you who obviously know what they're doing and they're just watching this for pure entertainment and obviously really just enjoying watching my face and me rattle on, brilliant. Just close your ears 2 seconds, okay? So I'm going to teach some grannies to suck eggs right now. So for those of you who are wondering, why the hell are we changing that? Okay, so a few reasons. So this is a plastic consumer unit now. So obviously the regulations changed, and to be brought up to date, it has to be a metal enclosure, right? One. The other thing is that we haven't got RCD protection on any of these circuits. I don't exactly know what they are at the minute. Let's have a little look-see. So we've got the boiler, upstairs lights, downstairs lights, guessing bedroom lights, fixed appliances, and the cooker. When that was installed, happy days, nothing wrong with that. But obviously now we are trying to bring the house up to date. So if I wasn't doing any work in this house, we could leave that technically well alone, needs a full EICR, and it could potentially be signed off. But we're not doing that, are we? We're not doing that. So, also now, any board that we install, we need to have surge protection at source, okay? So we're gonna have that fitted, okay? The other thing is that we're gonna be fitting these bad boys. So those are RCBOs, okay? So the good thing about having RCBOs over a split load board, which some people, you could just put a split load board. Again, if you know what I'm talking about, please bear with, just a tea. Go and make a tea. Split load board is where you've got an RCD controlling so many circuits, another RCD which would be up here naturally, and then controlling a few more circuits. That's not what we got. But we could technically fit that. That's fine, as long as it's a metal one, all the rest of it, fine. But the problem is with that, is that what will happen in a fault condition, let's say you've got a fault here on whatever the hell that circuit is, it's going to take the RCD, more than likely, and wipe out the rest of these circuits, okay? So then you're going to get, I don't know the word of it, basically it'll be annoying, because obviously it's going to take out some more circuits that have not necessarily got faults on them. The benefit of having an RCBO is that when you've got a fault, it literally just takes that one circuit out. So that is what we're doing. So if you know what you're talking about and you've come back, it's enough, okay? I've explained it now, we can just move on with it and let's go and have a look inside that board. Okay, so first things first, we're going to obviously turn the power off. Hopefully the alarm doesn't kick off because let's face it, it happens quite often. Boom, she's off. So one of the things I like to do is label. So we've got
number 1 to 6 on this side, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, okay? So what you'll do then is, obviously once you've took the cover off, you'll mark with a mark pen on the other side, guarantee I'm going to lose that on top of the boiler. You'll mark on the other side the corresponding numbers. So sometimes, fingers crossed, she's going to look perfect in here. Please. Ooh, not too bad. Not too shabby. So the bonus about that is it always gives me a little bit of someone's had a little bit of pride about their job. So it's not too bad on face value on there. It doesn't mean anything with results, but I mean, it's always nice to have a little bit of a look smart. So next stage for me is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around to the meter cupboard and turn off the mains isolator. So bear with me 2 seconds. Right, so are you absolutely sick to death of having so much paperwork kicking around and not having a clue on how to get your life organised? Well, it's quite simple. The way we've done it is by using Tradeify. Okay, so using Tradeify, we can then do all our quotes, invoicing, we can send reminders out when people don't pay. Let's be honest, it's all happened before. And sometimes they need a gentle little nudge. You need to pay. So also, with that, you can also run, if you've got multiple jobs like we have, we've got different people working for us, we send them all the information, where they need to be, what time, customers' details. And the best bit, I reckon, for me personally, is when you are doing repeat customers, like we are doing right now, is that once I've set them up on the system, and coming back to do another job is just absolute dreamy, because you can just go, yeah, bang, here's Mr. Smith, another job, another consumer unit, another job, another light, whatever it is, it's just so much easier, and you can just literally transition from that quote straight over to invoicing. Also, they also do, and I think, here we go. They actually do a text service now, so you can then send your quote, and also there's a cheeky little box to say, do you want to send a text message to the customer to let them know that you've had a new quote? And that alone has increased our turnover, because it's literally gone, hang on, there's no excuse, there's nothing been missed, there's nothing on email, and they literally, because let's be honest, loads of people just sit on their phone, don't they? And they'll go, oh, got a text here. They'll look at it and go, oh, open that up, open the link, bosh, accept, thank you very much. So if you want to do that and start streamlining your business, use the promo code GHawk50, you'll get 50% off for the first 3 months. But before you do that, enjoy the trial. It's a 14-day free trial. The link is in the description below. Genuinely, that is how I went about it. Needed to do that because you never really know, do you? You got people like me trying to push something, but I genuinely only push something I actually really like. So no details need to go in. It's a genuine free trial. Don't have to sign up. No bank details need to go in or anything like that. Go and give it a whirl. Links in the description, and don't forget to use the promo code GHawk50 and you'll get, like I say, 50% off for 3 months. Okay, once proved dead, using a voltage indicator, which I've just rattled through. The next stage for me, okay, because I've got literally an hour, because the customer's gone out for an hour, I need to whip that off and get as much done as I possibly can before he comes back, because obviously I don't want to inconvenience him at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark everything up like I said. So literally dashes is what I'm using, big dashes. And then when you get to about 5, I tend to change over to then start getting the old numbers on. So I'm changing this slightly because I've now gone off piste, should we say. So technically I've got 10 circuits on there. Okay, so what I'm saying I change pistes, right, is that, rather than just making stuff up. So I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah? So now I've gone 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now what happens is, how many times have I been and done this job and then got confused? Like, what's going on? The numbers are all a bit messed up. And yeah,
I've done that before, so I need to make sure I do that. So I always forget. So the key for me now is I am going to strip the living daylights out of this, get it done as fast as I can. Going to speed you up, okay, so you don't have to watch me all strip all that out. I'm going to speed you up, okay? Bear with. Okay, so what an absolute result. Luckily enough, when this was installed, they thought about putting a little bit of slack up there. So that has been an absolute winner for me. So managed to pull a bit more down. I mean, like I say, don't need masses. Ideal, drop the board down, make it lower. It's not going to happen in this installation right now. So what I'm now going to do is, so there's like, looking on here, there's F and B on these lighting cables. So I wonder whether they've wired that in front and back. So possibly, that might be a little clue. So very nice and neat, that's what you want. So the next thing for me is I generally bring all the cables in through the back. So I use like some standoffs as such. So mount the board up. So let's go get the board prepped and get that ready. Okay, so we're going to be using this fuse box board. So it's a 14 way that's going in. So more than, a bit noisy, isn't it? More than enough to take care of everything that we're doing. So we just open this up, let you guys know what's happened. So, other little thing, the box that these come in, I don't know what's going on, I've gone mental. So, the box that it comes in, use that as your bin, because you can have loads of boxes from all the RCBOs and all that sort of stuff. So, pack it, don't just go throw that away, because it's got your buzz bar and all the rest of it in there, and also some little sticky labels in there if you're in the market for those and you don't use a label maker. So we've got a Type 2 SPD in there, so which is that bad boy, main switch and 32 amp MCB. So don't need to have an MCB because obviously it's not leaving the enclosure, it's all an RCDO. Jesus Christ, what is going on? Don't have to use an RCBO to power the SPD. God, too many letters for me. I think the old ADHD might be kicking off because it's not leaving the enclosure. Okay, done. That's it in a nutshell. So, comes with knockouts on there, so we're going to smash these two out. So, the other thing is standoffs. So, you can buy specific standoffs. I've run out. So, the other way of doing it is that you can use the couplers and drill them through and mount them up, which is, I think this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so the other thing is you can just use that metal, I think it's a bush, isn't it? Use that as a spacer, so that will give you roughly 20mm off that. The only problem is with using that on there is it's a little bit on the old wobbly bobbly side. So what I would suggest is if you drill through, fix that on something like there, then that way you can then put another washer on and take care of it, which is what I'm going to do right now. So the other thing is that what we tend to use, which I'll bring you in a little bit closer in a second, so we actually use like a panel seal, which is that stuff. Tell you what, I'll come round, hold on, bear with. So we use that stuff, which is like a panel protector as such, because I tend to find that all of the grommet strip that comes with the boards, generally if you're putting cables through, it doesn't really hold tight and it comes off and it really annoys me. So I found that's the best way. It was actually Kian's dad originally introduced to me because he does a lot of industrial stuff. So again, you know, abrasion and all that sort of stuff. He's actually a Sparky. So he said, try that, Mike. So that is what I've done. And ever since then, I've gone, actually, Jace, you're a ledge, and I'm going to copy it. So, and pass off that it's mine. So Jace didn't have a clue about it all. But yeah, so I'm going to get this knocked out, get them built up, and then I will show you what I've done with this bushing arrangement. Okay, so I've drilled those out as you've seen. So that is essentially what levels. Turn it that way is probably easier. So with doing it that way, that technically you could alter these to make your levels completely, your boards completely level if if you're in that market. So yeah, so that way I've got a nice firm fix in the case of a fire as well. Obviously the metal is not just going to go, yeah, I'm not happy, I'm melting. Because some of the standoffs you can get are actually plastic, and that's not really a great idea, is it? Considering you've gone for all the fire properties and then you whack plastic standoffs. Why would you do that? But hey, that's what it is. So I'm going to go and whack that back up there. And get that sorted. So, yeah, right, better get cracking. Time's getting on. Okay, so as you've seen, I've just built those up, and obviously you fast forward it a little bit. So the bus bar is all on now. You might have noticed there's a blank there, so it's not going to stay as a blank. I am a 6 amp RCBO short, so I've put the blank in because that's where I want it to go. So I'm going to whack that in at a later date. Bit frustrating. So I've also changed the meter tails. So the meter tails now are the flexi tails. Now some of you might go, why have you done that? And the reason why, it's so on these they've stripped off a lot of the outer sheathing way further down. Now I know you could probably say, well, they're fine because it's in the, obviously this trunking and stuff. But for me, it just didn't sit well, and I just thought, do you know what, for the sake of it, I'm just going to change them. I know then all the installation's on them properly. I haven't got to worry about anything. I like to say, things play on my mind and I want it right. And I thought, well, why not chuck the old mains earthing in as well, get the 16mm changed. So that's what I've done. Customer's happy with it that I've done that, because I actually care about what I do. So that is what I've done so far. I've got to that stage. So now what I'm going to do is dress all these cables in, get all those back in the right RCBOs, and then what we'll do, we will get on with some testing and stuff like that afterwards. But yeah, getting a little bit peckish now. Customer's come home and he's made me a cup of tea again. Absolute winner. I mean, you can't get much better than that, can you? Let's be honest. Okay, so you can probably gather we're a bit further on. So we've tested everything out. Okay, so I've fitted all the RCBOs and stuff, and I was just going through all the testing procedure. I've been having a really good natter with the client, so I couldn't really film all that sort of thing. Just chatting about life in general, and also about the installation and stuff and things, and how things have been done, i.e. with landscapers doing electrics, all that sort of stuff. So hence the reason why obviously the day's getting on, which is great, not a problem, because obviously, it's part of the service that we do, having a nice natter with the customer as I'm working. So I've still got to neaten all these bits and bobs up, but there is some issues. Okay, so I've got landscaping electrics are faulty, so we'll have to go and look at those and sort all those bits and bobs out. Also, my ring readings are quite high. I've also got a failure on the lighting circuit. One of the lighting circuits, got multiple lighting circuits in fairness. Of an insulation resistance fault. So we need to have a little bit more of the further investigation. So obviously wanting to just sort of clarify where we're at and what we're up to at the minute. So dressing wise, so there's no point spending ages dressing all that in if I'm still going to be doing fault finding, all the rest of it. Literally wasting your time. So hence the reason why it's like it is. I mean, it's not bad, don't get me wrong. It could be a lot worse, and I've seen a lot worse. So we'll sort of dress all those bits and bobs in. But yes, so that's where we are. Kicking the camera. That's where we're at the minute. So I'm now starting to make notes and stuff on my certification, so which is that bad boy. So starting to make notes and stuff, just so I don't forget anything. I am here tomorrow anyway doing some of the LED stuff, but I want to make sure that my fundamentals is correct. Bit of a weird way how they've done the house. They've got sockets almost at the back, some at the front, bit weird. So try and be as descriptive on the certificate as I can, but obviously there's not enough room when you're doing all the labelling. So that's where we're at the minute. So I'll try and show you some of the faults as we're going. So like my end-to-end readings on the rear sockets, should we call it, is quite high. So my CPCs are really high. So I need to sort of narrow that down. So what I'm going to now do is a visual, go around, have a little look, see what's sort of obvious that's faulty, and then just make a big list. Oh, a bit dark, isn't it? A bit dark. So I'm outside now, so I'm just going to show you one of the faults, just before I'm coming to the end of the day now. So we've got power outside. Now my insulation resistance has failed on this big time. So as we can see down in that corner there, we've got a switch spur, fuse spur, sorry, and a double socket, IP rated. So at the other end, they are definitely not terminated. I'll show you that in a second. Well, not terminated properly in a second. Can't talk today. Now, I'm going to show you the dreaded cable, which I hate with a passion. It's not the right cable to use. So let's show you what idiot has used this. Okay, so here we go. So as you can see down there, the wonderful SY. Now that is not an appropriate cable to use. So what they've done, we've got lights all the way dotted down, all the way around the garden, as you can see down here, all the way around, and also over to this pond here. There's the water feature. Sorry.
Could you try again?
I can't try again. Siri's annoying, isn't it?
I'm not.
So now with this, as soon as this water feature is energized, it trips out. So if I disconnect the water feature, it still trips out. Hardly any wonder. So this bit here, you can see that hopefully hasn't got in any direct sunlight, still looks half decent. And then as soon as you get to here, it just splits and cracks, and that is basically one of the reasons why you should never ever use SY. It's just rubbish, horrible stuff. Now I understand that people think that it has applications on, you know, different installs and things like that. Get that, but for me, I mean, I know in industrial and it's got an abrasive property, you know, if it's done properly and all that sort of stuff, I get it. But there's no BS number on them. Why use it? So definitely in this installation, you should never ever use it. So it's caused loads of faults. So this is basically all these lights. I mean, there's loads of them. I'll tell you what, look. I mean, look here. I mean, what the hell is that? Like, that is just not good. And I mean, the client would have paid good money for it all, in fairness. So that runs all the way through, but I've now got to disconnect all that, and then hopefully I can re-terminate the armoured and test that, make sure that's, at least we can get a socket out here that's working. But let's go back inside. I'm going to go and show you the the way that they've actually terminated that. Oh, it's very dark like that. So yeah, I'm going to show you how they've terminated that. Okay, so this is how it's coming. It's coming through here, up, and then I'm pretty sure that's how you do it. Yeah, and then that's wired in, Bosch, via that. So we're going to sort all that out. It's a right mess, and then they've lashed this other socket in to make that work. Not great. Okay, so as you've seen, it's not a great install the way that they've done that. But yeah, so I'm going to end the video there. Thank you very much for watching if you've managed to stick through the whole shebang. Thank you very much, and if you have liked it, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and like I say, if you've not subscribed, one of the corners. But yeah, join me tomorrow when I'm going to get on with a bit of fault finding, and also perhaps start looking at stripping all these lights out on the front and getting those installed. But thanks for watching, see you next time.